Hello friends, hearty welcome. Let's begin the tutorial with the magic knot. There are different ways of making one. This is the simplest of all. Chain 3 to make the first double crochet. Then work 23 double crochets into the ring. So let me just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So I remove one was extra. So now we have 23 double crochets plus the 3 chains in the beginning. Pull the short end of the yarn and tighten the round. Slip stitch to the 3rd chain to complete the foundation round. So now we have the foundation ready. Chain 6, where the first 3 chains act as the first double crochet and then 3 chain space. Skip 1 chain and double crochet to the next chain space. Skip 1 and to the next do a double crochet. Chain 3, skip 1, skip the next chain space and do a double crochet to the next one. Chain 3, skip 1 and double crochet to the next chain space. Chain 3, skip 1 and double crochet to the next chain space. chain 3, skip 1 and double crochet to the next chain space. This way we work through the first row, creating 12 loops. I have worked 11 loops and reached the end of row 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now it's time for the 12th and final loop. So chain 3 and slip stitch to the third chain to end the row. This way we have all the 12 loops in our hand. Chain 1 and cut the excess yarn. I have finished working with this color. So my foundation, chains and the first row is in one color. Now it's time to attach the second color. Attach the second color to any of the 3 chain space. I am securing the attachment with a chain and a single crochet. Pull the tail end to make it tight. Chain 2, and this will act as the first double crochet. So work 4 more double crochets into the same 3 chain space. So this is a completed motif for reference, and this is the row that we are doing right now. So chain 2 and do 5 double crochets to the 3 chain space. Chain 2 and 5 double crochets to the next 3 chain space. So it's 5 double crochet to each and every loop in this round. Repeat this pattern until you reach the end of the row. So now we have reached almost the end of the row. So to complete the row, chain 2 and slip stitch to the third chain. We have now completed the second row. It's time for the third. Chain 3, work double crochet on each of the previous double crochet chain space. Now chain 3 and work 5 double crochets on top of the previous 5 double crochets. Chain 3 and work 5 double crochets on top of the previous 5 double crochets. Repeat the pattern until the end of the row. Here we have the reference motif, and this is the row that we are currently working on. So we have come to the end of the row. Chain 3 and put a slip stitch to the third chain to complete the row. So we have now finished with our third row. It's time for the fourth row, and fourth row is the end of the petal. So chain 3 and then do 4 double crochets together. Do 4 incomplete double crochets on top of the previous double crochets. Pull the yarn through all the strings, and this is the peak of the petal. Chain 3 and then to the middle chain of the 3 chains. So to the second chain, do a double crochet, chain 3, and then to the same chain space do 1 more double crochet, and chain 3. So this pattern we do for the 4 corners of the motif. Only for the 4 corners we do this double crochet, 3 chains, double crochet into the same chain space. Continue to work the tip of the petal with 5 double crochets together. Do 5 double crochets together on top of the previous 5 double crochet. Chain 3 and to the middle of the 3 chains do a double crochet. So since it's not the corner, we just stop with 1 double crochet. Chain 3 and then to the next 5 double crochets, do 5 double crochets together. So 5 double crochets together on top of the previous 5 double crochets to form the tip of the petal. So this is the difference, corner and edge. Then chain 3, do a single double crochet to the middle of the 3 chains. Chain 3, 5 double crochets together. So now we have completed the edge. So after 3 petals, now it's time for the next corner. So chain 3, do a double crochet to the middle of the 3 chains. Chain 3, do one more double crochet to the same chain space. And chain 3, there is the 2 corners, one corner and the second corner, and 3 petals in between. After 3 petals you need to do one more corner, and after 3 petals one more corner, so 4 corners, and the rest for the edges it is 1 double crochet. So now we have reached the end of that row. Chain 3 and then do a slip stitch on top of the first completed petal. The first 5 double crochets together. And then we are ending the work with this color here. So chain 1 and cut the excess yarn and secure the knot. By the end of the 4th round, we have completed the circle part of the flower, and now the border is remaining. So to do the border, take the other color and attach the color to any of the 3 chain space. So I attach it with a chain 1 and a single crochet, then chain 2, and this will act as the first double crochet, and do 2 more double crochets to the same 3 chain space, and next do 3 double crochets to the next 3 chain space. There is no chains in between, it's a simple 3 double crochets in every 3 chain space, except for the corners where we will work shell pattern. So for every 3 chain space, do 3 double crochets until you reach the corner. Depending upon the yarn and the hook size, if you think your work is too shrinky or wavy, then you can increase the number of double crochets too. We have reached our first corner. So to the first 3 chain space, do 3 double crochets. And to the next 3 chain space, do 3 double crochets, chain 3 and 3 double crochets to the same 3 chain space. So this is the shell pattern that we will do on the corners. Now we have the corner. Continue with 3 double crochets to the next 3 chain space. So repeat this throughout, and for every corner do a shell pattern. So for 4 corners, 4 shell pattern, and for the rest of the edges it is 3 double crochets. So we have come to the end of the row and end the row with a slip stitch to the 3rd chain. Next, work the same, so 3 chains which will act as the first double crochet, and work double crochet on top of every other double crochet from the previous row. This will be our last row of the motif. So work double crochet on top of the previous double crochet row. And for the corners, you work shell pattern as in the previous row. We have almost reached the first corner, so continue to double crochet on top of the 3 double crochets. And to the 3 chain space, do shell pattern, that is 3 double crochets. Chain 3 and 3 double crochets to the same chain space. And this we work for every other corner, and continue to work double crochets on top of the previous double crochets. So we will work the shell pattern for 4 corners of the motif, and for the edges we will work double crochets. So we have come to the end of the row, and we end the row with a slip stitch to the 3rd chain. We have also come to the end of the pattern for motif, so it's time to cut the yarn. I don't have much to cut, so pull the yarn to secure the knot. Since I'm doing a square pillowcase, I have made 4 square motifs of each color pattern for each sides. So a total of 8 motifs. And then I connect one motif with the other. So take the wrong side facing you for both the motifs and try to align properly. I'll be using the same color yarn that's been used for the border to connect the two motifs. So begin to take both the ends together. So I'm starting with the middle chain for both the motifs of the 3 chain space, and I'm connecting the yarn there with a chain. And then take one chain after the other. So try to do a slip stitch from one chain of this motif to the other. You can see there are chains like in the V shape, so one V to the other. Take one V from this motif to the next V from the next, and then do a slip stitch, connecting both of them together. So when you start the work, it could be a little hassle, but when you proceed, it becomes easy. When you're connecting one chain with the other. So connect every other chain from both the motifs. Now it has become a little easy, connecting one V with the other with a slip stitch. So this is how it would look from the wrong side and the right side. So continue to do the slip stitch until you reach the next corner. So this is a piece that I have already done. So yeah, I have connected all the 4 motifs together, and this is the same way that we need to do this part as well. So we connect 2 and then proceed to connect further, and then along the other side as well. So now we have connected 2 motifs. So it's time to connect the 3rd and 4th alongside. Align the 2 motifs together and start with both the corners, the middle chain from both the corners, and do a slip stitch, and then proceed as before, like one chain after the other, do a slip stitch. Do slip stitch along the other side also and attach the motifs together. So this is the finished work, and I have another set with the alternate color pattern. On the finished work, I have done a border with 2 rows of single crochet. So I'll be doing the same to this piece of work as well. So for that, attach the opposite color yarn to any of the chains and then work single crochet on every chain space. Irrespective of the corner or the edge, on every chain space you work single crochet. And the next row is also the same. So 2 rows of single crochet on every chain space to create the border. I have now 2 complete sets of square garment to make the pillowcase. So now it's time to sew them together. You can start from one edge, leaving the space for the pocket. So align the 2 pieces together, chain to chain. Also, I am sewing on the outer edge, like the sew will be visible. So make sure that on both the sides, the right side is facing you and the wrong side is facing each other. So start the work. I have a long yarn taken so that I don't have to break the chain in between. It needs to cover all the 3 sides plus the short edge on the pocket side as well. Continue to sew on every chain. That is, every chain from one piece to the other needs to be sewed together. So this is how the work is going to look like, and you continue to do so to all the sides until you reach the pocket end, and do the work until the same distance as before, and creating a pocket for the pillow. So this is the final result. After sewing in, we started off from one edge, creating a pocket, and ended the stitch with the same number of chains, and also sewed the 3 sides together to form the square pillowcase. Hope you enjoyed the video and the tutorial.